Joined by Mario Lalli of the Brant Bjork Trio, amongst others. Mario, how you doing?
Great, man. Thank you for having me.
Man, welcome back down under. I think I saw you last time you were here with Sean Wheeler and the Rubber Snake Charmers. That was a great show in Auckland. What brings you back so soon?
Well, I'm on bass duty for the Brant Bjork Trio, and we're this is our second time here, um, and this is a really groovy tour we've got worked out here. A lot of new places, playing Central Australia for the first time, and Perth, and then some new places in New Zealand too. So we're really excited.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you over here, man. You're not just on bass duties for the tour, but you played bass on the new Bjork Trio album as well, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm an official member of the trio.
It feels like you're either an official or unofficial member of just about every band out of that part of the world.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I'll take that. That's cool.
That's very cool, man. That's very
Yeah,
cool. I mean, it seems that New Zealand and Australia particularly have a real affinity for the sort of music that you play. Do you kind of feel that?
I totally feel that. And the first time I really realized that, I mean, Brant's been coming here for years, to New Zealand and Australia for years. But my first experiences were actually I was my first experience here was with Yawning Man, and we I noticed right away that I really identified with all the music heads over here, and honestly have always been a fan of a lot of the bands and music from over this side of the world. It's got a really unique kind of the reason why I relate to it, I think, is because like the desert music scene, it's got this kind of remote quality to it that is kind of like cut off from the rest of the world, and a lot of the bullshit is eliminated, and a lot of the creativity shines through, and always unique bands, always unique musicians and artists, writers from this side of the world, and also a down to earth, no BS kind of approach to music and art. Um, Really individualistic. And then I also noticed when we were doing this series of concerts, like little festival in the desert. A lot of people were coming over from over here to attend it, and it's really small, like a 900 people, size festival, under 1,000, and several folks from Australia and New Zealand were coming over. And so I started to notice, like, they're in this Kyuss world uh, group. There's like a group on social media called Kyuss World, and a lot of those folks are from this area. So there's something going on there. I can't put my finger on it, but it's I think I tried.
Yeah, I think you did, man. I think you did. I mean, the new stuff, the new album is called Once Upon a Time in the Desert, which kind of sounds like maybe it's your origin story. Once Upon a Time in the Desert. That
Yeah,
album, you obviously played on it. How much of the writing did you do? How involved were you there?
not too much. I mean, I wrote for my instrument. I guess I would put it that way. The way we did that record is Brant. The way Brant writes is he has a series of riffs or grooves that that he will piece together, and then he's got lyrical ideas, and we would meet at his house, and he'd throw those out there and then and just kind of loop a groove for me, like play the main riff. And the way I play bass is I write a lot of melody underneath stuff, and I play a lot of chords like a rhythm guitar player almost. So I have that role in all the bands I play bass in. It's a very similar approach that I have. So yeah, I mean in that respect, I contribute uh, creatively to the song, but that's all Brant's music, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels listening to the album like, and I know this is never the case, but you know, it just feels effortless that you just like, you know, I could be in Brant's lounge listening to you guys jam. Like it just feels like it just flows out of you, and I don't want to say it, you don't have to try, but it kind of feels like it just happens.
it's true, and you know the chemistry that me and Brant have uh, is it's undeniable, man. I mean, I sensed it early on before I played in a live band with him. I contributed to many of his recordings and his first solo record, you know, and I always it always was really effortless. And Brant played guitar in Fatso Jetson for a minute. And so we've always had this kind of chemistry. And, you know, we grew up on the same music. So we have a lot in common that way. But I really noticed the chemistry when we started jamming in the Snake Charmers, and the way that came about was um, Yawning Man was supposed to go on a tour with Stoner, and our guitar player Gary got sick and couldn't make the tours. So we, instead of reaching out for other support bands or whatever, we just decided to jam, you know, before the Stoner set. And because I was on the road tour managing and driving and selling merch for Stoner anyway, so and that right away it was like really easy and really effortless, like you said.
Yeah.
So when we put some song structure to it, and then also have that chemistry of, we like to jam within the context of these songs. So, you know, like where there's a solos, guitar solo section or whatever, in most rock writing formats or approach to a rock song, we'll stretch out, you know, we'll stretch it out and improvise, and it's always different. And so, yeah, you're right. There's definitely that element to it. Some chemistry there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you and Brian have played together in so many different bands. Are there times when you're just in the groove on stage, you kind of get lost in the music to an extent, and you look over, you see Brian, and you think, which fucking band is this? What are we doing?
No, no, because yeah, that's cool though. Uh, no, I'm pretty much present at what we're doing, but there was, you know, the Snake Charmers, and then playing in the trio was great the way that worked, because we were able to find chemistry and then put structure to it. So that kind of reverse engineered. Most bands get together, they learn some songs, and then they they find their chemistry. We found our chemistry improvising and jamming, and that's, you know, that's the purest way that you can communicate with another musician, is where you're not dotting I's and crossing T's and ABCs and doing math. You're when you're just making shit up together, and if you can do that and it's effortless, that's a special thing. I do it a lot, and I do it a lot with a lot of different musicians, and I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I'm really comfortable in that. So when you find someone that you can do it with, and it's pretty much always fun and train wreck proof, it's a joy, you know, it really is.
Yeah, train wreck proof. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a Stoner fan, right? So I primarily went to that Stoner show that I was mentioning to see Stoner,
right,
and
right.
then I discover the Rubber Snake Charmers, and I discover Sean Wheeler, and I mean, no disrespect to Stoner, but that was the highlight, man. I was like, after you guys finished, I was like, how the fuck are they going to top that? Because that was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Sean's impossible to top. I mean, I don't care who goes on after Sean is just a really special human being, and he's got an incredibly rich character that's just it's so honest and so real and so wild. And I've known him since we were kids, and yeah, it's wonderful doing that thing with him. We've done it in all different uh, configurations. We've done it with just me and him. We've done it with me, him, and my son as a three piece with just guitars and him doing his vocals, spoken word, and poetry and song. And then we've done it with as many as like 12, 13 people on stage. So, and I got to say though, like we really on that tour with Brant and Ryan Goot, we got into like doing it every night. We got into some serious, we locked into some serious things that were working. And it's one of the few times like that band's done a four piece where it's just a trio of musicians with Sean. It's real. I think it's probably the only time. And I'm really stoked we got to record. We got to record it um, at a performance at Moe's Desert Tavern, or fuck, I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, Moe's in the Gold Coast, and he films stuff there. Christian Theinhorn is the promoter there, and he films stuff. He does a really great job filming it. And we he does a lot of performances, films, bands performing. He captured our performance, and the sound was so good. I was like, fuck, we should just make a record out of this. But that band was, that band hasn't toured much. It's a it's the nature of the band being like this group of musicians that comes in and out, and it's all improvised. So that the opportunities for that particular band to tour are rare,
Mm.
So that was it was good, and I really look forward to doing it with Bran again. Um, but the trio's been so busy. We're just man, Bran's keeping me busy. We've been working super hard, and we're going back to Europe this this year in the fall, and then next year I don't know how much we'll be touring, but it's been insane. This year is like wow. So we really got out and worked hard.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you back down here, and great to see you guys again. I do have to ask you this question. I was looking through your bio, and I was like, funeral here, Fatso Jetson, Yawning Man, Priest Milk, the Rubber Snake Charmers. What is the secret to a great band name? Because you seem to have had a lot of them.
I don't know. Me and my friends, when we were kids, I think the funnest part of starting a band is coming up with the name. It's also the hardest part because, but it's so fun. It's like naming songs, and we always had fun with that. We like to, of course, everyone wants to have the most clever, cool band name, whatever. But I don't know. We just always had a weird sense of humor and tried to incorporate that. And my son's new band's called Warm Uncle. People hear the name and they're like, dude, I don't know, man, that's kind of disturbing. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So That's the whole point. But it's always fun to have a name that catches people off guard when they hear the music. It's like they don't know what's coming till it hits them. But yeah, we just always have fun with that stuff. Song titles or record titles. We're always thinking of that stuff before it's even appropriate and the time is right. We're just like, oh, it'd be a cool name for a record, or dude, that'd be a great name for a band, that kind of shit. I'm sure all musicians do that.
Yeah. Oh man, fantastic. Hey, I gotta ask you before I let you go, Mario. I mean, Kyuss, Queens of the Stone Age, obviously bands that broke out of the scene, and went larger than some other bands. And you get dubbed as the Godfather of Desert Rock. Do you have a little bit of pride to look at those bands and see what they achieved and feel like you're a part of pushing that boat out on its journey?
Hmm. um well, yeah, of course. I mean, the 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 I was mentioned a lot in guys that were interviewed, guys from the desert that got to get out and do interviews like we're doing right now. And I was mentioned because it was really simple. My role was I like to throw parties and I like to be uh, active in, and I liked to play. So to play where I lived, you had to set stuff up. And if I waited for someone else to do it, and there were other guys that did it, there were other people, there were other girls that were really active and did stuff. And I share that with all of those people. And I just think for some of those guys, uh, at the time, Caius was coming up, and we played a lot together when they were Cats and Jammer, when they were Sons of Caius. We did a lot of stuff together, and they used to practice in my garage, and we were the older guys setting up the punk shows and doing stuff, and they were going, when they would go out, it would be us setting shit up. So that's how that all came to be. I wasn't some mover and shaker and making, I just was doing whatever every other kid that has a punk scene in his town, or every skateboarder that wants a place to go skateboard. They build a ramp, they bail a pool, they whatever the fuck. And it was like the same kind of thing. It's like a group of people that do shit because they want to do it themselves, and they want to. So yeah, I mean, I'm of course I'm flattered by that. By and I also am proud of what those guys have done, and all those guys have helped my group of musicians, meaning my family and our bands, Fatso Jets and Yawning Man, and these bands. Uh, they've helped us immensely. Brant and Josh Homme and those guys, they always threw opportunity our way, and they always shined a light on us and said, "This is rad. Check this out." And so fuck yeah, I'm super grateful for all that. And I wouldn't be here in Australia if it weren't for those guys. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
We'd still be well what we do at home. We'd still be doing that, and that's awesome. We still do it anyway. But so many opportunities came from Brant's first tour in Australia was opening for Metallica behind the drum set at Kyuss. And here we are. We're back playing. But yeah, I've had many opportunities in my musical life because of those dudes, and I'm here right now because of Brant. So I'm super grateful for all that shit.
Yeah, well, we're super grateful you're still doing it, man, and we're super grateful you guys are coming to New Zealand as well, Mario. Thanks very much for giving us so much of your time, and best of luck. I know you got a gig tonight in Melbourne, so I'll let you go get ready for sound check and stuff. But yeah, can't wait to see you guys here.
All right, thank you, Rico. Appreciate it, man.